Hey everyone, it's Mr. Pally. We're going to be going through the grading policy for chemistry and physics. So we're going to be filling out the online notes on Google Classroom. So make sure you to either have a paper copy of your notes or be filling out your copy through the Google Classroom app or on the website. All right, great. Let's get started. So first, we have assessments. Assessments are 70% of your grade. This is a citywide policy. The same thing holds for my class. So 70% of your grade is coming from assessments. So remember, this box is being used to fill the blank above it. So there's three parts for assessments. There's the unit test. The unit tests are about 50 points. They happen 2 times a semester. Next are the quizzes. They're about 20 to 30 points. They happen 2 times a month. Next are the exit tickets. Exit tickets are 10 points each. They happen the most frequently. They happen 2 to 3 times a week. So on the unit tests, there are no notes allowed on the unit tests. Quizzes, however, are open notes. You can use your notes on the quizzes. The quizzes are made by me, so everything that you use in our class are going to be things that are going to be on the quiz. Both unit tests, quizzes, and exit tickets as well are all graded for correctness. And then finally, exit tickets, notes are only allowed, but they're required. I will only grade your exit ticket if notes are attached or included. So that means in Google Classroom, you're going to have to take a photo of your notes completed. In class, you're going to have to show me that you finished the notes to get credit for that exit ticket. So they are graded for correctness as well. And let's fill in those points for us here. So we've got 50 points on the unit test. We've got 20 to 30 points on the quizzes. Exit tickets are about 10 points each. Great. So now we're going to do a little bit of review. We're going to review finding the average of a set of numbers. I just made that a little bigger so it might be easier for you all to read. So we're doing this because I want to make sure that you all have the skills necessary to make sure you can calculate your own grades and understand what grades you're getting, why you're getting them. So we're going to practice finding the average of a set of numbers. So in this situation, we're looking at a set of exit ticket scores. So exit tickets, like I said before, are out of 10. So we're going to find the average exit ticket score from this set right here. So to find the average, there's 2 steps. We're going to add them up, add up the numbers, and we're going to divide by the total numbers of numbers present, number of numbers. So what do I mean by that? So let's look at this example here, which is going to be at the bottom of your notes. So this should already be filled out for you all. So I want to just give you this example. Let's walk through it now. So we have 7 scores here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's our number of numbers. I'm going to put 7 right here. Next, we're going to add up all these scores together, even the zeros. We add them all up. So once we add up all those numbers, we get 6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 0 plus 10 plus 8 plus 10 equals 40. So that's step 1. We add up all the numbers. Step 2 is taking that sum that we got from step 1, which is plus 40, and dividing it by 7. So 40 divided by 7 comes out to 5.7. So this answer makes sense to me because when I look at these numbers, 5.7 fits right in the ballpark of them. It's not the lowest number, it's not the highest, it will be somewhere in the middle. So that's a good gut check to make sure your average is correct. Okay, so we're going to go into some practice now. So this is on the next page. You're going to see 2 students, student A and student B. Each have a set of exit tickets which are graded out of 10. What I want you to do is repeat the steps that we just did for this example down here. So you're going to find the average for both of these students and compare. So I'm going to work this through. Feel free to follow along in your own notes. So let's do student A together. So step 1 is, well, even before step 1, first we have to find out the number of numbers. So let's count this out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 numbers again. Next, we're going to add up all these numbers. So we got 9 plus 10 plus 0 plus 7 plus 8 plus 0 plus 0 equals. So I'm going to do this. You can do this on your calculator. I'm just going to use my Google Chrome browser to add it up because I'm feeling a little lazy today. So 9 plus 10 plus 0 plus 7 plus 0 gets me 26. Oh, looks like I'm forgetting one. I forgot that 8. Let's add that 8 in there. So plus 8 plus 0. Let's go back to my Google here. We got, make sure I add that plus 8 plus 0. That gets me 34. Okay, that seems about right. So I'm going to put 34 right here. So next step is divide 34 by my number of numbers. So in this case is 7. So we're going to do 34 divided by 7. That comes out to 34 divided by 7 gets us about 4.857, or we'll round that to 4.9. So that means the average exit ticket score for student A was 4.9. So make sure you've copied this into your section of the notes. And we're going to do the same thing for student B. So student B got a different set of scores. They're a bit lower. The ones they took are a bit lower than the ones student A took, but you see here there's no missing score. So they made sure that they got every exit ticket in. Either they came to class every day or they made sure they made them up in a timely way. So let's go through the same process. First, we're going to count the number of numbers. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. So we got 7 numbers this time also. We're going to now add them up. So we got, let's see if I can do it right this time. We got 7 plus 5 plus 3 plus 8 plus 6 plus 7 plus 6. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Now we got to add them up. Either do it on your calculator or you can do it out by hand. It's up to you. So all those numbers add up to 42. Equals 42. And then finally, we're going to divide again. So we add up, we divide our sum, our total, 42, divided by our number of numbers, 7. So 42 divided by 7 is 6. So that means student B got an average exit ticket score of 6, which is higher than 4.9. 4.9 is would have you in the F range. A 6 gets you a D, which is passing. So student B, despite getting lower scores than average, made sure by completing each one was able to still get a higher score. Okay. So great work on that. Let's move on to the next slide here. So now classwork. So classwork is also, well, classwork is 10% of your grade. So assessments are 70%, classwork is 10% of your grade. Let's put that in right here. Classwork is 10% of your grade. Problem sets. We're going to have about, reality, we're going to have about 1 a week. 1 a week. So I'm going to fix that here. You can fix that in your own notes. We'll have about 1 problem set a week. And we'll have about 2 problem sets a month. Problem sets are 10 to 20 points. Labs, 10 to 30 points. So the thing to know about problem sets is that problem sets are graded for completion. and you can make them up through Google Classroom or from Coach Class. However, labs, while also graded for completion, cannot be made up. The reason for that is labs take a lot of setup. You got to be there the day that I've set up the lab to do it in order to do it. So you can't make up a lab directly. However, if you are really trying to bring your grade up and you want to do an alternative assignment, I will provide you an alternative assignment upon request, which means you got to ask me for it. You got to be proactive and ask for an alternative assignment. I could make you one. It's usually going to take the form of a research paper. So we got our 2 parts of classwork. One is a problem set, about once a week. Labs, 2 times a month or every other week. Problem sets you can complete on Google Classroom. Labs you cannot make up on Google Classroom. You can, however, request an alternative assignment. All right. Next, we got participation. Participation is also 10% of your grade. So we got participation here, 10%. So the main part of participation grade is the do nows. Do nows are actually 10 points, so let me fix that right here. Do nows are 10 points, and they happen once a day. So 10 points. They happen once a day for the first 5 to 10 minutes of class. They can be graded for completion, so it doesn't matter whether you get the do now questions right. It's more whether you participated and actually completed the assignment. So do nows are graded for completion as opposed to assessments, which are graded for correctness. And then they can be made up during Google Classroom or Coach Class. We're going to have about an X ticket every single day. All right, and the next part is actual classroom participation. So the way this affects your grade is I usually add this as a bonus onto your do now. So if you're doing a really good job participating in class, you're answering questions, you're engaging in group activities, I'll be circling the room. I'll be putting 1 or 2 points extra on your do now, so you can get that 12 out of 10, that 11 out of 10. That can really raise your participation grade. So that's participation. Next, we got homework. So I know you all love homework. Don't worry, homework is not a big part of my class. It is 10% of your grade, as it is required in Excel and Baltimore City schools. However, I assign about 1 homework assignment a week. It's usually a very short reading. So 1 homework assignment a week. They're about 10 points each. They can be made up on Google Classroom. If you missed me handing out the homework assignment, you can always find it in Google Classroom. And additionally, we usually have time in class. As long as you're good about getting your work done, there will be time during the week to make sure you get your homework assignment done. So if you're diligent, you're paying attention, you'll rarely have to take your homework home. So we got 10 points once a week. All right, so we're going to be practicing calculating grades. So to do that, we're going to have to work with percents and decimals. So I want to just go through that real quick. So the general rule for changing a percent to a decimal is that, or working with decimals, is that you always have to change percents into decimals first if you want to do any math with them. If you want to multiply, add, or subtract, first you got to change that percent to a decimal. So let's put that in first. If you want to multiply a number by a percent, you need to change that percent to a decimal first. To change to a decimal, add a decimal point at the end or the right side of the number. You're going to move it to the left 2 spots. We'll look at these 2 examples here. We got 50%. So the way to start is adding a decimal to the right side, and we're going to move to the left 2 spots. So we'll start right here and go 1, 2. And the decimal is going to now end up right there. Same thing with 9%. So 9%, we add the decimal on the right side next to the 9, and we're going to move over 2 spots. So start right here on this side of the decimal, We go 1, and then we have to go 1 more. And to move 1 more, we're going to add a 0 right here. So that's how we get 0.09, or 9%. We move that decimal over 2 spots. All right. So to change a decimal to a percentage, so we're going the other way again. Now we're going from the decimal side back to the percent side. We're going to move the decimal to the right.